Now, you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another TNINews video. Now, we've got a lot to cover today, so let's hop right into it. And first, let me just say thanks to everybody who wished me a happy birthday on my Facebook and such. I really appreciate it. Yesterday was my birthday. I actually got to spend the last few days with my dad who lives down in Florida, so it was a great birthday. But again, thanks to everybody who did wish me a happy birthday. Now, also, before I get into the news today, I just wanted to tell you guys about two contests that we currently have going on the websites. So on Toy News International, on our message boards on TNI, we are giving away a $100 store credit, and it's your choice. You can either use it at Big Bad Toy Store or Megalopolis Toys. So we did this last week and we're doing it again. This is a second contest. So if you missed out last week, you've got another chance to win. And for that contest, basically you have until today, which is September 24th, until the end of the week, Sunday, which is September 30th. And then we'll hold the drawing on next Monday, which is October 1st. And the winner will be contacted on the message boards and everything. This past week's winner was Needless Immortals. They're the ones that won $100 store credit last week. But again, we are doing the contest again on TNI on the message boards. And I'll put a link to that with all the details if you want to check it out. Now, for you Marvel Legend collectors, and I talked about doing this in a previous video, but we've started a contest on the Marvelous News forums where we're giving away 3 different waves of Marvel Legend figures. So specifically, we're giving away a set of the Venom figures, a set of the new Deadpool figures with the Sauron Build-A-Figure, and a set of the new Spider-Man figures with the mech suit Build-A-Figure, the wave with Doc Ock and everything. So we're giving away 3 different waves. So basically we'll have 3 different drawings and pick winners from those drawings. So with that contest, the details are up on Marvelous News, but basically you'll have between now and October 7th, so you'll have essentially 2 weeks for that one, and we'll hold a drawing on Monday, October 8th. So basically that one will take us through New York Comic Con, which is next weekend. A lot of news should be coming next weekend for Marvel and various other things, so definitely should be a lot to talk about on the message boards and everything. But I will put links to both of those contests in the video description below, and definitely I would recommend that you check them out. Okay, now on to the news front. So first of all, I just wanted to touch upon something I briefly talked about last week, and that's Aquaman movie toys. So first of all, the Aquaman figures are starting to hit mass retail shelves, physical retail shelves. I've been hearing reports of people finding them at places like Target and Walmart. So I checked my local stores and they didn't have anything yet. But if you're looking to pick up like the DC Multiverse or even the basic stuff, that should start that's going to be hitting shelves here anytime between now and probably the next few weeks. And then like Amazon has most of their stuff up for pre-order with an October release date, so they should start shipping their stuff if you want to just pre-order any of that stuff off of Amazon. Now, I talked about a couple of things last week about Aquaman, but I found another set that popped up on Amazon, which looks kind of cool. Now, this is, again, for the basic 6-inch line, not the multiverse line, but I think one of these figures will actually fit in. So it's a 3-pack with Orm and Aquaman, and then the third figure is a larger Brine King is what they're calling him. It looks like a big crab creature. I don't really know much about him. I don't know if we've seen him in the comics or something, but he kind of looks like a pretty cool figure to me. And again, even though he's probably not super articulated, you know, size-wise, he probably will work well with your multiverse figures if you just want another C-type creature for your Aquaman figure to fight or what have you. You know, you might want to check this set out. And it's up for pre-order on Amazon, and it looks like it's only going to cost $30, so it's not terribly expensive. And again, even though it's not super articulated or anything, you know, it might be something worth checking out. Now, while we're on the subject of DC Comics, I also wanted to share this official image released by Hiya Toys. So this is the next figure that they're going to be doing in their DC Comic Injustice 1/18 scale, or essentially, you know, 4-inch scale figures. So we already knew, we saw it at San Diego Comic-Con and have since seen official images for their Injustice 2, Batman, Superman, the Swamp Thing, and Red Hood figures. And then it looks like the 5th figure is going to be Harley Quinn. So again, these are essentially 4-inch scale figures. The Hiya Toys stuff, you know, if you've had any exposure with their Aliens or Predator stuff, you know, aren't too bad for the most part. Some of their earlier figures did have some breakage issues, but it seems like they kind of improved that on later releases with their Aliens and Predator. So, you know, I think if you're a 4-inch fan and a DC comic fan, this might be something you want to check out. Now, they are a little bit on the pricey side. Looks like these figures are going to be selling for around $25. So for a 4-inch figure, you know, that is a bit on the pricey side. But still, you know, if you want a decently articulated, decent looking, you know, DC-based 4-inch figure, then I think, you know, you might want to check these out. And again, we're getting our first look at the Harley Quinn figure. No other details at this time have been released, but I just wanted to share the one image that Hiya Toys released. On the movie front, we're getting some additional looks at Joaquin Phoenix. I think that's how you say his first name, Joaquin. Yeah, I think. Anyway, of his Joker. So, I don't know. I'm still not terribly impressed with what I've been seeing. I really don't like this whole Joker standalone. And one thing I don't like about this Joker origin movie or whatever it's supposed to be is I just don't think we should really know the Joker's origin. I mean, that's one of the mysteries of the Joker that make him so interesting. If we really delve into his origins and stuff, I think that takes away from the character. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm just not really feeling it. This guy looks way too old to be the Joker if, you know, basically this takes place during, you know, while Bruce Wayne's father is still alive. So, I don't know. I don't have high hopes for this movie, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think this is going to be good? You know, are you looking forward to a Joker origin movie? And what do you think about the actor playing her? But one I wanted to touch upon was for their 4-inch figures. It looks like they're going to be doing a box set based on Married with Children. That's the classic 80s, I think it was late 80s and 90s sitcom that debuted on the Fox network with Al Bundy and everybody. So it's the entire family, though it does not look like they've included, which is a little disappointing. That was their dog, but you do get the father, the mother, and the 2 children. Including the daughter played by Christine Applegate. So that one is going to be offered at New York Comic Con, but then will also be sold at Target stores. So, you know, if you're into Married with Children and you like to collect, you know, obscure figures based on old TV sitcoms and stuff, then okay, and over the past week or so, Funko has been announcing their New York Comic Con exclusives. Now, I'm not going to go over all of them here because there's so many. Funko is one of those companies that do like 1 million exclusives for these conventions, a lot of pop figures and everything. But one thing I did want to touch upon was they announced that they're going to be doing an action figure box set for 4-inch. Okay, and over the course of the last week or so, Funko has been announcing their New York Comic Con exclusives. Now, I'm not going to go over everything that they've announced for that because there's so many. Funko is one of those companies where they just do like 1 million exclusives. To me, it kind of takes away from the whole thing of exclusive. But nevertheless, one thing I did want to touch upon that I thought was interesting was an action figure box set for... Okay, and then over the course of the last week or so, Funko has been announcing their New York Comic Con exclusives, and there's so many of them. I'm not going to go over everything that they've announced. You know, they do a ton of pop vinyl figures and stuff. You know, they really kind of, I think, take the whole exclusive concept to an extreme. But one thing I did want to touch upon and talk about today was an action figure box set that they announced. Now, this is a 4-inch box set, and it's going to be based on the old sitcom Married with Children. That was with Al Bundy, and you had, you know, basically the children, Peggy and Al and Kelly, played by Christine Applegate and Bud Bundy. So, you know, it was definitely a cool show that debuted. It was one of the original shows that debuted on the Fox network, and I think it started in the late 80s, if I remember correctly, and then went through a good portion of the 90s and everything. But Funko's doing this box set. It's the 4 family members. Unfortunately, no sign of Buck, their dog, but they did not include the dog, but you do get the 2 children and Al and Peggy Bundy. So that is going to be released as a New York Comic Con exclusive, which again takes place next week. And then also that set is going to be made available at Target stores. Okay, now flipping back to entertainment news, a new trailer for the upcoming Bumblebee movie hit the internet today. And I gotta say that I thought this was a pretty cool trailer. So, mainly because we get a lot of, looks like a lot of nods, maybe with flashbacks or something along those lines, for G1 Transformers with actual G1 designs. So we're getting a look at characters like Shockwave, who, looks like is on Cybertron, and some other jets, maybe Starscream. I can't tell if that one jet next to Shockwave is Starscream, but also looks like, the green jet, Acid Storm. So, kind of going hardcore on the G1 stuff, and these guys actually, when they transform into jet modes, look like the pre-Earth jet modes that we saw in the original miniseries of the cartoon. We get a look at Optimus Prime, who looks pretty G1-like, more so than he did in any of the other movies or anything. And then also Soundwave and Ravage. And Soundwave definitely looks like, this is the Soundwave that I've come to expect. And even Cybertron itself looks much more like, the Cybertron that we saw in the cartoons and stuff than like what we've seen in the movies previously. So now my only downside I see to this is, and again, it's hard to tell if these are flashback scenes, how much this is going to be presented in the movie, but a lot of this stuff looks very CGI, almost cartoony like. It almost looks like you're watching a video game or something when they flash to those scenes in the trailer. So I don't know. I like the designs, but maybe they need to work on making it look a little more realistic and less, something from a video game. Yeah, I don't know, but it's definitely, I find that encouraging. The overall story looks pretty, like we've seen this before. Bumblebee's got humans after him, he's got the Decepticons after him, and he's got to basically save the world. So, the overall plot here doesn't look like anything too original, but overall, I am liking what I'm seeing here with a lot of the nods to the original G1 characters. I mean, I definitely wish this is how they had designed the Transformers originally when they did the movie. And probably, special effects wise, especially back when the first Transformer movie came out, it probably just wasn't that practical. Even here, like I said, while the designs themselves look good, it's hard to tell how realistic they really look, or is it just going to look like a video game or something. So we'll have to wait and see, but definitely I thought that was pretty cool. I'll put a link to the trailer on tformers.com if you haven't checked it out, and if you're a G1 Transformer fan, I definitely recommend that you take a look. Medicom has released official images for their MAFEX Robocop 3 figure. So we've seen this figure at various conventions and stuff before, but now we're getting the official images. The figure is currently available for pre-order at places. Now this is the one with the jetpack. He had the jetpack and was flying around in the third Robocop movie. Which, I actually didn't think the third RoboCop movie was that bad. I actually thought it was probably better than the second RoboCop movie, but didn't really get the critical acclaim that the first one did. And definitely wasn't as good as the first one. I mean, the first one is definitely the best RoboCop movie ever. And if I remember correctly, they even got a different actor. I don't think it was Peter Weller who was playing RoboCop in the third movie, which kind of took away from it as well. But anyway, this one, he comes with an alternate gun arm. He's got the jetpack. He's got alternate hands and faces. He's got the little spike thing that sticks out on his hand. So, packed with quite a few accessories and everything. And again, has that jetpack, which is removable on the figure, like you saw in the movie. And again, that figure is currently available for pre-order at places like Big Bad Toy Store. And that figure will have a release in July of 2019. We also today got official images for the upcoming comic book-based Venom figure. So following their Spider-Man figure, their comic book-based Spider-Man, they're going to be doing Venom. And this looks to be based on Venom's first appearance by Todd McFarlane and everything in the pages of Amazing Spider-Man. I believe that's what basically this figure is based on, is Todd McFarlane's art. So it's kind of, it's not as bulky of a Venom as you might, like. He's bigger, should be bigger than Spider-Man, but he wasn't like super duper bulky like you see now in more modern times. And then he's got 3 alternate heads, none of which have a tongue sticking out. So he's got a grin, and then he's got like an open grin, and then a closed grin where you see his teeth, and then he's got an unmasked Eddie Brock head. So, and has pretty thick eyebrows. Doesn't look quite as McFarlane-like as the Hasbro version, but you know, it doesn't look too bad either. And then you get some webbing effects. You get multiple pairs of webbing effects. You get multiple hands and feet, including, you know, like we see with the Spider-Man figures, where you've got the magnets on the feet and the hands so you can have them stick to walls, you know, or metal surfaces. So overall, you know, it looks pretty good. Now that figure will also be released in July. So last time I checked, it wasn't currently up for pre-order, but again, that figure should be released in July, and I would expect places will put it up for pre-order pretty soon. Going back to entertainment news, Netflix last week announced the release date for the 3rd season of Daredevil. So it looks like they're wasting no time, being that the 2nd season of Iron Fist just hit the network. Now they're going to be doing Daredevil in October, starting October 19th, so less than a month away. And looks like, you know, based on the teaser trailer that they released, he's going to be wearing the black suit again. And, you know, I don't know a whole lot about the details of the plot for the 3rd season, but definitely should be interesting. Daredevil has been the best of the Netflix series, even though I thought the 2nd season of Iron Fist was much better than the first, but still, so far Daredevil has been the best of all the Marvel Netflix series. And again, we've got less than a month till the 3rd season, so mark your calendars for October 19th. Last week, Diamond Select Toys finally released official images for their Marvel Select Avengers Infinity War figures. So we got our first look at these figures during the San Diego Comic-Con, and they went up for pre-order, you know, well before the movie even came out. But now we're getting the official images. Now these figures are going to be released at the end of December, all 3 of them. Well, I should say 4, because one is actually kind of a 2-pack. But we're getting Captain America, and the thing I like best about the Captain America is the shields. It looks like you get 2 versions of the shield, one where it's more extended, and then one where it's kind of more compact on his wrist. And you do get 2 of them. You know, this is the first company that's actually giving us 2 shields, or shields at all. I mean, we got 1 shield with Hasbro and no shields with the SH Figure Arts version. So this is the first company that seems to have done a fairly good job with the shields for Cap from the Infinity War. Now the face sculpt, I don't know, the face sculpt looks okay, but doesn't look great either. And then you also get a display base that looks like, you know, a piece of grass from Wakanda, I guess. But the cool thing with this one, again, to me, is the shields. I think, you know, and I'm hoping that, you know, it might be worth getting these just to use with my Marvel Legend version, or I didn't get the SH Figure Arts one, but if you have the SH Figure Arts one, it might be a little big for them since this is a 7-inch scale figure, and the Figure Arts ones tend to be small, on the small side of 6-inch, so I don't know. But again, you know, definitely cool to see that they seem to have gotten the shield pretty good with it. And then we're also getting Iron Spider, and that one looks pretty good as well. He also has the arms on his back, the mechanical arms, and they look to be somewhat articulated, so hopefully they're sturdy. And, you know, they've got a decent paint job on them and everything, so that looks pretty good. And then finally, the 3rd one is a 2-pack featuring Thor, who does have Stormbreaker. This is based on Thor from the end of the movie, where he has both of his eyes. No lightning effects or anything, unfortunately, it doesn't look like. And then he also comes with Teenage Groot, so you get an extra figure, essentially. I don't know how articulated the Groot figure is, but, you know, if you want a 7-inch scale Marvel Select Teenage Groot, then, you know, again, it'll be included with the Thor figure. And as I said, all 3 of these figures, which have been up for pre-order at various places for months now, should start seeing release at the end of December. Okay, and then finally, I just had a few tidbits of information on the Marvel Legends front. So first of all, I wanted to let you guys know that Amazon looks like they've delayed that MCU 3-pack, the one that was originally going to be a Toys R Us exclusive here in the United States, and then got canceled because Toys R Us went out of business, and then got picked up by Amazon. It's the 3-pack with the Iron Man, the Hot Rod Iron Man, Pepper Potts, and the Mandarin, aka Trevor. And that originally, you know, had been up for pre-order on the Amazon website and was supposed to start shipping on September 15th. But then September 15th came and went, and then Amazon updated their release date. Now they have a wide-ranging release date saying but sometime between October and November. So I don't know exactly when this figure is going to start shipping. It is still available for pre-order if you want to pre-order it there. Now this figure has been out overseas. I believe Toys R Us Canada still released it. So, I mean, you can find it probably on eBay and stuff. But if you want to get it at the regular price and everything, then like I said, it is currently up for pre-order, but when exactly it'll start shipping, hopefully it'll be sometime, you know, closer to October than November timeframe, but I don't have an exact date at this point. Also, the Amazon exclusive Sentinel with the Days of Future Past Wolverine, which again was a Toys R Us was going to be a Toys R Us exclusive, and then got dropped because they went out of business, got picked up by Amazon. That very briefly went up for sale on the Amazon site the other week. People have actually started to get it. It did quickly sell out, and right now it is still listed on the website, but it is listed unavailable. You can request an email notification for when they get more in stock, and I'm pretty sure they will get more in stock, so I wouldn't panic too much if you missed out. It was up for a very short time previously, so again, I really doubt they sold through all of them. I think they just probably, I don't know if they jumped the gun by accident and then pulled them or what have you. But again, people have started to receive them. The ones who were, you know, able to get online and buy them when they were up for the short period of time have started to receive them. And I'll put a link to it on their website. So again, you can select like the email notification to be alerted when they should get more in stock. The Marvel Legends Fantastic Four Thing figure also briefly showed up online last week for like an hour on the Walgreens website. It has since been completely removed from the website. I don't know if it was something where it just sold out that quickly. Even when something sells out, though, usually they keep it listed on the website for a while. So that's what was unusual, is they completely removed it. But, you know, I would suspect they'll probably relist it at some point. I haven't heard of anybody finding it at physical stores yet. So, again, it may be they prematurely put it up there, which is why it was only listed for like an hour or so. But again, you know, that figure was listed, which indicates that the figure should start showing up at Walgreens stores very soon. Okay, and then the final bit of news is just a brief update on those Captain Marvel movie Marvel Legend figures I talked about last week. So if you missed the video or weren't on the internet or what have you last week, basically images of 4 figures, Marvel Legend figures for the new Captain Marvel movie leaked out via Amazon. Now, Amazon quickly pulled the images after they leaked out. Of course, at that point, the images were already circulating around, and it was too late. But since then, Amazon went on and relisted the figures on their website for pre-order, and they provided a little better high-quality images. Same images, they just weren't quite as blurry. So we get a little better look at the figures with the new images that Amazon put out there. The figures are currently listed on the website. You just have to do a search for Marvel Legends, and they should pop up pretty soon, you know, on like the first page or so. Now, last time I checked, the Captain Marvel figure and the Nick Fury figure, which were 2 of the 4 they put up, were sold out. They're still listed on the website, but they sold out. They actually have these up for pre-order, so, you know, basically I guess they got enough pre-orders to list it as sold out. I'm sure they will get more as we get closer to their release, but right now you cannot actually pre-order those 2. Now, again, last time I checked, the other 2, which is the Skrull and the Captain Marvel figure, those 2 were still available for pre-order. Now, there are more figures in this wave, and I did some checking, and basically right now Amazon has the exclusive first pre-order for these 4 particular figures. I don't know why. You know, I guess Hasbro is waiting to reveal the rest of the wave, maybe at New York Comic Con or what have you. But right now it's just the 4 figures, but there should be at least 2 more figures in this wave. And again, we don't really know for sure. One is probably the Genis Vell that they showed at San Diego Comic-Con. The other one maybe is movie related. Originally I was thinking it was probably going to be comic book related, but if they're keeping it a secret, you know, maybe it is movie related. I don't know. The Build-A-Figure is going to be the Kree Century. Now, Amazon is listing these figures with a January 1st release date. I'm not sure how set in stone that is. I definitely would not be surprised if those figures start showing up someplace else before January 1st. Especially overseas. These things almost always have been popping up overseas before they do here in the United States. So conceivably we could start seeing this wave hit somewhere retail in December, sometime in December, maybe even before Christmas. So we'll just have to wait and see. Now, one other thing I want to point out is with the listing, Amazon gave brief descriptions, and there's been a lot of speculation. You know, there's the thing on the Captain Marvel figure where it tells us we're going to get an additional head sculpt, and that's caused a lot of speculation. Many people originally thought it was going to be the helmeted head, especially since we did see the helmet in the trailer that debuted last week. Of course, the helmet that they showed in the trailer was for the green suit, not the red and blue suit. So my speculation was that they were going to do the power-up version where eyes are glowing and everything, maybe with some translucent hair, and throw in an alternate pair of hands, which are supposed to be coming with the figure that maybe are translucent with an energy effect. And when you read the description that Amazon puts with the figure, and again, I don't know how set in stone this is, but it says the alternate head is an unmasked head. So that would, if that is true, then that means it's probably not the helmeted head. And that leads more credence, at least in my mind, that it's going to be something along the lines of the powered up version with the glowing eyes and everything. Again, that's not confirmed in any means. I don't know how accurate the Amazon listing is. I'm told Amazon basically was given an exclusive to put these up for pre-order before anyone else, so don't expect these figures to go up for pre-order anyplace else anytime soon until we get closer to, you know, the end of the year. But you know, again, my guess is it's not going to be a helmeted head that comes with that Captain Marvel figure. It's probably going to be something along the lines with the power-up version with the glowing eyes. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything we talked about. Please leave a comment in the comments section below. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. Please do check out the TNI and Marvelous News message boards for the latest contests that we have going on there. I will be doing some more contests here on YouTube in the near future, maybe during New York Comic Con next week, so stay tuned for details on that as well. But like I said, if you want to pick up some new Marvel Legend figures or a store credit to your favorite e-tailer, then head over to the message boards and check out those contests we're currently running right now. And you can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. Of course, I'll have links to all those in the video description as well. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.